you doing? Good.
Tired.
I'm not surprised. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you guys about my story. It's a great story. I'm gonna talk to you guys about kind of where my life was at before. I was saved young, but before I was saved, I was actually in foster care. So it was, I mean, I don't remember anything when I was in foster care. I was adopted when I was 14 months old. But it was, I know that it wasn't a good situation to be in, and the family that I could have been with wasn't a good family to be with. And that was kind of the first time that God redeemed me, and He gave me a home, a family that would be able to show me God's love and show me kind of how to grow up living through Him. And so he saved me from a place that could have been really bad for me and brought me into a better one. And then I got adopted officially when I was 3, which is incredible because while me and my brothers were going through the foster care system, my parents that I have now were praying for children. And they were praying very specifically for 2 boys and a girl that had me, curly hair, and then the boys had blue eyes and brown hair for my dad, and that's exactly what God gave me, which is really kind of incredible. And so his timing and everything since day one has been exactly how it needs to be, and it's really cool to just go back and kind of think about. So the second time I was saved was actually at a concert that was at my church. And I was 7 years old, and it was at the end of the concert, they kind of gave people a time if they weren't saved to kind of pray the Savior's Prayer. What is it called? Yeah, that. And so I prayed with my mom in the back of the church, and the second time I was redeemed. And from that point forward, I've been living the best that I can through God. And so since then, I mean, I grew up in a church. I grew up going to Awana every Wednesday night, and then church on Sundays and Sunday school, and I had all my church friends and everything. And as I got older, I went to youth group. But school got more difficult as I got older. And I very quickly realized that the way I was like at church and the friends I had at church were very different than the way that I was seen at school. And it wasn't fun. I would go to school not wanting to, and then I'd come home upset because of things that have been said to me or whatever. But then I'd go to church on Sunday or on Thursday nights and then Sunday, and I'd have the greatest time with my church friends and be like, I'm okay. And then things started changing in the church, and youth group got different, and it started to be, it wasn't a family, it wasn't a youth group, and it got to the point where families were taking their children out of the youth group because they wanted them to be in a place where they could actually learn about God and not just have fun. And then all my friends started leaving from the church, and they all started they went to different places or they just moved away, and then we got distant. And then for a while I basically had no friends at church or school, and that was difficult. That was very difficult because I didn't really know what to do. I was still at the youth group at that point, but I didn't necessarily want to be, and I wasn't appreciated there at all. And so my friends, I mean, I kind of spoke to them still, but like every time we made plans, they'd cancel or we just wouldn't happen, whatever. And so for a long time, I was just kind of going through the motions of every day. Get up, go to school, come home, do my work, whatever, go to bed, go to church on Sundays, go to youth group on Thursdays. For a while, I didn't even go to youth group. I didn't go at all. I'd go to my friend's youth group every once in a while, but it wasn't like a set in stone thing. And then my mom started working here, and she heard about you guys. And at first I didn't want to go. I didn't want to come here at all because I was afraid I was afraid of repeating my past, of not having a place I could just be myself in. I was terrified, and then my mom kept telling me, no, this one's different. This one is a family. This one, you guys, they all come together, and they all appreciate one another. And I was like, no, I didn't want to go. So I could have been going here way sooner than I started, but that was my choice. And this was, when I started going here, it was in God's timing. Because at that point, school got really rough. But once I did start coming here, I found my family. You guys are my family. And you guys make me feel appreciated and loved, and I can be myself here, and I know that I'm not going to be judged for it or picked on, and I haven't had that in a long time. So I'm so thankful for it. And then I heard about Mission Meadows. And Mission Meadows was a big turning point in my life for me, because when I ended 10th grade, I had lost any friends that I had gained during the school year, or the past few years. They completely went away. They used me for car rides and money, and they shut me out. And when I spoke to them, they would yell at me for it, basically, and they would tell me that I'm being selfish. And so by the end of 10th grade, I was done with it, and I was like, I'm done. So I had no friends, and I was actually really scared to start 11th grade, because I knew I was going to a school that already didn't like me, for a place where I had absolutely nobody. And so then I went to Mission Meadows, not really knowing who I was, not really knowing what to expect. And then I met my cabin girls, and then I met Gabe. And things started to change. Mission Meadows was an incredible experience for me, faith-wise, because it gave me a new hope and a sense of direction, and it gave me a security knowing that God was going to be with me no matter what. And since then, I've had just this. For a while, I was very distant from God, but now I know that He's there, and I pray all the time about anything, because I know that He will hear me, and He answers when He knows the timing is right. And I have been seeing things change in my life. And I mean, school is still rough, and it's always going to be, but He brought me Gwen. Beginning 11th grade, I spent the first 2 weeks or so by myself completely. At lunch, in my classes, no matter what, I was just by myself. And then I met Gwen one day, and she became my friend very quickly. And her and I'm very hopeful for our friendship as we kind of grow and get older. And I really hope that she can start to listen to God too, because she's still. But that I'm really hope I can help her with that. So as I grow, I'm just going to keep going to Him about anything, because that's all He really can do. And I'm going to stay on the optimistic side of things. And I'm going to be myself and not let anybody judge me for it, because you shouldn't let anybody judge you for who you are. I have a Bible verse. It's my favorite Bible verse. It's Philippians chapter 2, verses 3 and 4. And I don't know if I have the whole thing memorized. So, I'm going to read off my phone. But this Bible verse I learned in Awana. If you guys don't know what Awana is, it's like a Sunday school on Wednesdays, but there's different age groups. And they had us memorize Bible verses and we play games. It was really cool. Anyway, my verse says, do nothing out of selfish ambition or conceit, rather in humility value others above yourself, not looking to your own interest, but each of you to the interest of others. And I love this verse because it talks about how above all you put God first, but then you put other people, and you look to see how you can help others, not just yourself but others, and then you put yourself last. And I just feel like that's a really cool way of looking at things at our world now, just to kind of know that others need you, even if you don't think that they do. And that there's a lot that people are going through that you don't know, and not just being there for them, no matter if it's a person you're just meeting or if it's your best friend, can help them in way more ways than you think. So I really like that verse. I always go to that verse. So yeah, that's caught up to right now, I guess, because I'm still growing. So.